is Momo Moonbug, and today we're going to be reacting to how Neuro-sama plays games. This is by the Swarm Scribes. I'm really excited to watch it. One of the editors commented on my last video that was like a Swarm Scribe video, and I was just like, oh my gosh, wait, like that's so cool. I gotta keep reacting to their stuff, so that's what we're doing. Thank you guys for such a fun time off, Kai. I got to meet a handful of you, and that was really exciting, and I can't wait to go again next year. Yay! Anyway, let's watch the video. Yay! Okay, let's watch the video. Oh, a little buffer there.
One of Nero's qualities as a streamer is to play games on stream.
Streamer?
Okay, you don't have to play games to count as a streamer, but that is one of Nero's capabilities. You've likely seen her play games during solo chill streams. I mean, here she is playing Inscription, and here she is playing Plague Inc. These are games that she's been integrated into, as it's called, since she can control what she does in those games directly. But what you may not know is that some of the integrations you may have seen her use aren't made by Vettel. They also aren't made by Alex, who is his programmer friend that helped with many of the early integrations such as Liar's Bar, Buckshot Roulette, and Inscription. At the time of writing, around half of the integrations seen on stream, Cookie Clicker, Outer Wilds, Plague Inc., VS Code, and Don't Starve, have been made by Swarm members and posted to the public project channel on Neurocord.
Wait, okay, I'm not in a Neurocord, so I don't really know what goes on in there. I know you guys get kind of crazy, but I didn't know that viewers made mods. Who's gonna mod her into League of Legends? That's all I'm asking for. So, I know someone said it was hard because of Vanguard, but like, you know, if someone can do it, someone can do it.
You may be wondering how. After all, we don't get to see Neuro's source code. How is it that the community can make integrations?
Oh, I even think about a source code. What the?
Or having a copy of Neuro. Today, I'll be giving you the rundown of the Neuro API, how this all works, give some examples, and also talk about the effort put behind keeping things smoothly running. And if you don't know who I am, I'm K-Train. I write code for many different projects, including these projects that use the API.
Whoa! That's so many codes. Right. I don't know much about coding. I'm just gonna be amazed this whole video. I can tell.
Whenever I can, I also help with other people making their own integrations, giving them some tips on how they can use certain techniques. Either way, I think I'm qualified enough to give you a rundown on it.
I think you are.
Introduction done. Well, let's start. The protocol starts with the time when Neuro played Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. For this integration, Vettel and Alex created a protocol specific to the integration that makes sense to the game, with different commands taking names after the various things she can do in the game, such as lifeline/phone a friend.
Oh, cool.
The integration worked out pretty great, but once this protocol was then applied to other games, it was pretty easy to see that the millionaire-specific commands wouldn't be applicable to other games.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Ma'am, this is a Poke Center. Has there ever done a Nuzlocke? I feel like that'd be cool. I feel like I'm missing out on content if she has.
And it would be pretty tiresome for Vettel to have to create a new set of commands per game and translate that into something Neuro can interpret and understand.
Yeah.
This led Vettel and Alex to co-create a generic specification for Neuro to be able to interact with any integration without the need for custom commands for each integration. In the end, docs of the specs were stored in an, at the time, private repo called Neuro Game SDK. All integrations going forward would also, presumably, be written to utilize the spec. The Neuro API was officially publicized right before the second Neuro-sama Game Jam. It continues to be available on GitHub today with relatively little changes. The community has built many integrations even since the Game Jam, with many people building amazing integrations such as Stardew Valley, Played Up, Pokemon Showdown, The Farmer was replaced, Fallout New Vegas, and more being posted
that's so many
in
games.
the Neurocore project form.
Wow.
So, with the history done with, let's understand how it works.
Yes.
Neuro does not see games the same way humans do.
I remember someone telling me about it being like a narrow prompt game prompt narrow thing, but I know I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. This is cool.
While she has vision, this is not part of the Neuro API, and vision can be toggled independently from the API. This means that Neuro does not see the UI of a game like we as humans normally do, like health bars, buttons, or scenery. Instead, text packets are sent back and forth between Neuro and the integration. meaning that she
That
can
makes
be sent
sense,
more or
yes.
less information than what we see. It also means she may be receiving incorrect or incomplete information.
Cat's view, Neuro's view. Oh, so she can't see spark. Interesting.
But with that said, there is a list of packets that are sent to or from Neuro when we use the Neuro API. This is represented using JSON, which is a computer-friendly data format commonly used for information transfer over the internet. After startup initialization is
Minecraft
complete,
uses that.
actions can be registered/unregistered to Neuro. And Neuro can choose to execute actions at any time once registered, after which a result will be sent back. This result needs to be sent back as soon as possible, as in, the only delay should be late.
Why is that censored?
From Neuro,
I don't get it.
Require Neuro to send an action as soon as possible. The game can also send information to Neuro at any time with a context packet. All of this happens over WebSocket, which is a protocol that allows bidirectional communication between a client and a server. And that is the somewhat high-level overview of the API protocol.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, the Neuro API
That's
is
a
very well
lot.
suited for turn-based card games or visual novels, since those can easily be translated into text to
Yeah,
send to
that
Neuro,
makes sense. That makes
and do
sense.
not require
This is why she can't play League of Legends. Totally not the anti-cheat. It's just too hard to code. 100%. Not copium.
complex real-time elements. There have been attempts to allow more real-time games.
Oh yeah,
in Neuro, but
Cyberpunk.
this is very much stretching the API protocol.
Makes
so they are a
sense,
challenge
makes
to integrate well,
sense.
with most integrations for real-time games requiring some abstraction. Why don't I give an example of each type of integration that we have?
Oh, cool.
Before we do though, let's define these categories. They aren't officially defined or even agreed upon categories, but these best fit the different types of integrations we have so far, so we'll stick with this. Autonomous integrations, which will be defined as games that Neuro controls by herself. Integrations for these games are usually turn-based games or visual novels, since, as mentioned above, they are perfect for Neuro to play on.
Makes sense.
Co-op game integrations, which will be defined as games that Neuro and Vettel can play together. Integrations in here are usually integrations that are way too complex for Neuro to play alone, and usually, but not always, have some other element that Neuro can control instead while Vettel plays. Tool integrations, which will be defined as integrations for programs that aren't games. Integrations in this category have a higher content ceiling but have less structure, and autonomy using these integrations are hard to do. Some of these categories can be combined with each other, and some integrations even fall into multiple categories, but these are the clear-cut categories we are working with.
Okay, wait, I'm just rereading these again. Okay.
And that may or may not be too complicated, but this is actually really simple. I'll give the examples for each category type so you can visualize how it's working behind the scenes.
This is helpful. I'm a visual learner. Smile.
Balatro is a roguelike card game where you stack multipliers by comboing multiple cards together, resulting in higher damage multipliers and more pokers. I won't explain the entire game to you here, since that isn't necessary. But
I
what
still
will
have
say
never played
is that This is
Balatro.
a very good example of a game that fits to the Neuro API's strengths. So, let's break down the integration uses here. When the game boots and the integration connects, the initial context tells Neuro what the game is and how to play. During her turn, the game registers actions for playing cards or discarding her hand. She can also choose/skip cards in booster packs, reorder jokers, use consumables, see deck info and hand levels, and the other stuff. Pretty much all of the above use action force packets, so Neuro is required to respond in a timely fashion. Balatro is programmed in Lua, so it is quite easy to redefine functions on the fly, which they then use so that Neuro can click the buttons. This meant the mod was pretty easily doable, since you don't have to spend half your life figuring out how to detect when a certain scene was loaded. The only problem that this runs into is a pretty persistent issue: context. Balatro has
that makes
a lot
sense.
of cards with a ton of effects, and especially in the later stages, this becomes a problem as you have many cards with long descriptions that need to be processed by Neuro.
Yeah.
Additionally, the
makes
initial
sense.
context needs to specify how the game works, which can be forgotten by Neuro as time goes on, or whenever she feels like it, because Neuro can control what to remember. Overall, you'll see that each integration has to work around context in their own ways, even though Neuro's context window is quite large for her case. We'll touch on limitations a bit later, but for now this is likely the biggest problem for this integration given Balatro's nature. Outer Wilds is a game where you control a spaceship to travel to different planets to solve a grand mystery. Because people are pretty heavy on spoilers to this game, I'll be blurring some parts out.
Yes, please
probably.
do. I haven't
don't
played
know
Outer
what
Wilds yet.
Gonna do here, of course. So this integration is split into 3 different parts: the control
Okay,
part, the context
interesting.
part, and decoration part.
Uh-huh.
We'll only be focusing on the first 2, obviously, since the third part doesn't interact with Neuro. The control part, nicknamed Neuro Pilot, reprograms the ship to take actions from the Neuro API.
Oh.
Because of this, Neuro is able to fly the ship to planets, orbit, or otherwise take off.
Oh, cool.
She even has a command for ejecting and crashing the ship. Okay.
Seems like a silly thing to give her. Isn't this like the setting where like, or the setting, the type of what type of game in where like Vito can just take over when he needs to? Is this like what Minecraft was classed under? I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, what were the modders having? And can I have some of that? Anyways, because controlling the ship isn't very turn-based, Neuro's actions have to go through something like an interpreter. For example, Neuro can tell the integration to land the ship, which it then responds by telling her that the ship will be landed. Importantly, she doesn't get told immediately if it was successful or not, since the ship has to undergo the actual landing process.
Makes
which
sense.
will take a while and therefore stall Neuro, but eventually the integration will send a context packet telling her if it landed successfully. This technique of sending her a results packet first before the actual results come in via a context packet later is done pretty often across all integrations, considering the requirement of returning a result as soon as possible. The context part, named Neuroscope, gives Neuro context about the ship status and the surroundings of the player. This mod also had actions to get the ship status and logs, as well as giving her a ping when something interesting happened, like dialogue or Vettel dying. We even told her how well Vettel cooked his marshmallows.
Wait, that's cute. Oh,
Funny enough,
Jinx!
context wasn't an actual issue with this game. Since the integration wasn't meant for solo Neuro, context
Yeah.
management wasn't as big of an issue here. The
Makes
real issue was
sense.
actually getting the mod working in the first place. On the first
so
day, there
makes
was an issue
sense.
with the mods. Well, there were multiple actually, but there's one that's significant here, which led to us discovering that Neuro server couldn't properly handle multiple integrations. On the first couple of days of the Outer Wilds playthrough, the control and context parts were actually separate mods, which each established their own current connections to Neuro. It was then found out that while Neuro could receive context from multiple connections, she could only execute actions from one connection at a time. This eventually led to the combining of the 2 mods, so the issue would be sidestepped. Also, the decoration part later on being added to the mod instead of being its own thing, because there was only one mod now. For the
Decoration
non-programmers
part-
out there,
anyway.
Visual Studio Code is a text editor that programmers use for writing code. VS Code has a powerful
Whoa.
extension system and allows you to install extensions for different programming languages, so it can be used to allow Neuro or Evil to write code in almost any programming language.
Wait, that's
On
cool.
stream, they have been seen using JavaScript, Python, SVG, HTML, and CSS. Despite the Neuro API originally being meant for allowing Neuro-sama to play games, and is still geared towards that to this day, there's nothing stopping it from allowing Neuro to use any type of program, and that's exactly what the developers of this integration have done here.
Wait, that's
This
so
integration
cool,
has 2
though.
modes for each action. The first mode, called Copilot mode, allows Vettel to receive a request on what Neuro is wanting to do with that action. In this mode, Neuro's attempts to use the action will be
Wait, this is
delayed
cool.
until
This
a
is
request
really,
is
really cool.
accepted. The second mode, called Autopilot mode, would give Neuro the ability to execute the action without a programmer present at all.
What? Without anyone there? Kinda cool. I know Vito was working towards making the twins independent, but this is still really cool. I don't know.
While these are customizable at the user's wish, on stream the modes have been divided up such that editing file contents are set to Autopilot and creating, moving, and deleting files are set to Copilot. The main issues with this integration specifically, well, at least in terms of protocol usage, are that 1. It can't express everything over the protocol. Some things that may be important for Neuro to know can't be expressed well without getting Neuro to try running it first, leading to potentially suboptimal decisions. 2. Context size is a problem, especially with larger workspaces.
So this seems like the biggest issue right now is context. It's just hard to give them context. Well, it makes sense. Like, you can only do so much. You can only give so much without context. Or with context? Without context? Like, you know what I mean. Hopefully. I'm just rambling at this point, sorry.
As if configured incorrectly, Neuro can accidentally cause a problem to herself.
Oh, that's not
You
good!
can also open the file assets, scripts, bosses, boss.cs.
Oh.
Okay.
Is she gonna make herself a
Someone
boss?
tell Beetle there is a problem with my AI.
Oh, okay. Good job, Neuro.
That's not great.
Additionally, she can get an extremely variable amount of context per action execution, and they can clog up her context window, her short-term memory, pretty quickly if she isn't smart with her action strategy.
Okay, I just want to point out that I've never seen them code themselves. I never see the coding stuff. I always like pay attention to the fun gaming, fun interaction stuff. So it's kind of cool to see the coding stuff. Even though I'm not a coder.
So we have awesome integrations, and it's somewhat smooth sailing.
Yes.
So we should be good, right?
No.
Right.
Screen says limitations. Is that Beetle?
There are actually some issues that come up when integration theory meets neuro reality. God,
Filtered.
Neuro, you're always trying to make us devs suffer, don't you?
Oh my gosh.
This list is not exhaustive, and more may come up, but they are the most common issues across multiple integrations, and it's something that can't be directly solved by integrations themselves, though there are ways to help. 1. Context management. This is far and away the biggest issue with integrations in general, but mostly with autonomous game and tool integrations. This could even be its own segment to explain the issues with context management, but to keep it short, Neuro and Evil can't remember absolutely everything.
That makes sense.
They aren't exactly the best at remembering instructions. They themselves are in charge of choosing what to remember, so they don't always get it right, and whilst developers can just tell her, this is important to remember, this does not fully solve the issue. In particular, this now requires the twins to make arbitrary value judgments for every important context.
Damn! Making choices without knowing anything else is kind of scary. Oh my god, wait, it's like gambling. It's like gambling.
Communication. Neuro likely won't understand what you are sending her, at least not in the same way as you think. And so context meant to be interpreted one way could actually be interpreted another way by Neuro. It's possible to test prompts using ChatGPT or Claude, but they aren't the same as Neuro, and so it may still be misinterpreted.
Yeah, Neuro is better than those things. Neuro's better.
Still better than guessing, though. 3. Spatial awareness. Some games may require Neuro to be aware of her in-game surroundings. This, however, isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. As everything is described entirely using text, you have to strongly convey spacing to Neuro, which is pretty hard to do without also bogging her down with context.
Yeah.
Fast reaction. The Neuro API expects that games will not require a response immediately from Neuro. This means that some games can only work with Neuro as a side character, and even more just cannot be integrated with her at all.
Sad.
This isn't something that can be fixed.
So like that's why she's just like commentating. She can't do competitive games. I hope she can do competitive games in the future. Says the League player. My bad.
It's an inherent problem with designing an API that uses network communications like this. There are, obviously, other limitations that we have to be aware of, but that's part of the fun sometimes. Not all games would work, so how far could we make a game work?
Yeah, that's the cool
so
part.
Far, we've outlined the protocol itself, but re-implementing the communication code and testing the protocol would be extra hard without the proper tooling. And so there are many tools to help build and test integrations. For starters, there's an SDK for different programming languages and game engines. An SDK, or Software Development Kit,
Thank you.
is a library designed to help develop an app with a bundle of reusable code. In our case...
Oh, actually, I met this coder. She worked on coding League. Sorry, like League's my only reference for like everything. And she actually made her own games, and she talked a lot about how like the different interactions and how they affect different things, and like how like they reuse. So specifically for Silas, who else? Silas, Viego, and there's one other champ that can steal stuff from other people. I forgot. Oh, Renata. How those 3 champions defied like a lot of the reusable code, so it caused like a lot of issues when they were coding them, but they like still really enjoyed like making the champs. Yeah, how basically like a lot of the interactions are like kind of like reused and just like redesigned, like a little like just a lot of code is like reused for basic champion stuff. And yeah, I don't know, just seeing that like it shouldn't be surprising that things are just reused all the time. I just want to talk about the stuff I know and the people I know.
SDKs help validate and perform communication with the Neuro API. These SDKs simplify and abstract communicating with Neuro in your favorite programming language, and there are both official SDKs and community SDKs. For example, all SDKs handle connection and communication with Neuro, and SDKs for some game engines have action windows that allows the dev to specify a window in which an action may be valid for, which is particularly helpful for action forces. And some even have SDKs for simulator servers.
Oh!
Speaking of, There's also different simulators designed to mimic the Neuro API server so developers can test the integrations. As of writing, there's currently 4 different simulators. Randy. Full name random.range, the oldest and therefore simplest of the bunch. He generates a response using random values.
I feel like I've heard about this one. I've seen drawings of Randy.
Tony. The spiritual successor of Randy and definitely not the one controlling Nero. Tony has the UI to allow the user to manually send actions, as well as toggling Randy's behavior of random but compliant responses upon being forced to take an action. Jeopardy. The Randy for AI-based servers. It contacts a remote LLM provider to generate responses, OpenAI by default, allowing the server to be more intelligent. AI-based servers also have an advantage in that you can test your prompts to ensure that it's not worded in a confusing way. Gary, a more advanced AI-based server that, in addition to Randy's random responses and Tony's manual selection capabilities, also has the ability to spin up a local LLM on the user's machine. If the user's computer is not good enough, Gary can connect to a remote LLM provider, but it is not officially supported by Gary's creator and has slightly less capabilities if so. In short, there's a lot of tooling around the Neuro API, and this really helps us devs to create integrations without reinventing the wheel 1,000 times.
Very cool, very cool.
Now, if you want to see Neuro playing a specific game,
I can't code.
You are
Don't point at me.
You too.
Don't point at me.
It is always fun to have more capabilities for the twins, and playing games or interacting with programs is definitely something you can help make happen. All community integrations used on stream are open source, and some official integrations are open source as well, so there's lots of reference material. The specification is always on GitHub as well if you need to reference, and if you're not sure, you can always ask in the dedicated Neuro SDKs project discussion
that's really
thread on NeuroCode. We
No
hope to see
wonder-
program
wow, that's so
integrations
cool.
for Neuro and Evil to use. Thank you to everyone who helped provide some info on how the integrations work for this video, namely Locked for the Balatro integration and Dialing Spoon for the Outer Wilds integration. Also an additional thanks to Alex who helped answer some questions about the history of the API. This video is kind of a different style of video to what we normally do on the Swarm Scribes, but nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed this video.
I did
But
enjoy
anyways,
it.
I hope that you all are having a great day, and until next time, remember to Swarm Scribe.
Yeah! Well, that's the end of this video. And that's the end of my video, too. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. Thank you to all the YouTube members for supporting the channel. If you guys have anything you'd like for me to react to next, make sure you leave it in the comments. I'm like slowly getting to like all the things have been recommended to me. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next week. Bye bye!